When you're in ministerial school, the number one thing that they drive home is that your only job on a Sunday is to inspire, right? Inspire the people to live this teaching, to want to go out into the world and be the love and to be the light that they are. And so I'm in this really interesting time in my life, and I found that song and I so identified with the lyrics. There is a when I first got into this teaching, and Dr. James loves to talk about how I was hard and brash and a little, callous and a little, just had a lot of edges. And my journey in this teaching has been embracing my vulnerability and being willing to allow love in and to allow my love out. There was a blocked flow of reciprocity going on in my ability to express the love that I am. And so this vulnerability journey kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie, right? There's this element of, and there's nothing more vulnerable than standing up here and authentically allowing you to see me. And so I called my good friend, Reverend Dr. Eric, last night, and I said, I'm not feeling particularly brilliant right now. And I don't think that I'm the one that should be standing up on that stage tomorrow talking about brilliance. Because we talked a couple of weeks, well, I talked, royal we, I did most of the talking a couple of weeks ago, but I talked about this sort of midlife cliche that I'm in, this journey of finding myself and excavating beliefs. And the reality is, not only is that vulnerable, but it's also often very uncomfortable. And I said to him, I know that when you fast forward a couple months, the journey that I'm taking right now is going to make for an amazing talk. I can see what's on the other side of this. But right now I'm standing in the thick of it. It's like I'm in the coal mine, and I know the diamonds are there, but I haven't yet found them. I also found out the diamonds aren't really always in coal mines. It's more rock and stone. That's for you, Craig Lincoln, because I didn't want to be corrected afterwards. So if I say coal, know that I mean heat, rock, and stone in the Earth's surface. All right, we got that covered. And I thought, and I had great excuses. And I have to tell you that I almost backed out of showing up today. And I had great opportunities and excuses. I even had Thor on standby just in case. So he could have been here to wow. So I apologize if that's what you were looking for. But I showed up because what Eric reminded me of, as he always does, there's a reason why he's the one I call, is that I am brilliant right now. I am already the brilliance. And if I show up authentically as who I am at any point in the journey, I am radiating my brilliance, that it don't have to be at the other side of anything to be the brilliance that I am. It's like it reminds me of that play, Waiting for Godot. God's going to show up. God's going to show up. We're all waiting for God. Stop waiting for God. You are God. So right now, in this instant, I was reminded of where I came from. Because right now, what I'm going through is going back to basics. Right now, I'm excavating beliefs. Right now, I'm recognizing that there is still this woman inside of me that is operating from a belief system that doesn't fully align with the brilliance and the radiant truth of who I am. Right? I still have moments of forgetting who I am. And quite honestly, I'm over it. And when I get over it, and it takes my soul a minute to catch up, when I'm like, I'm done with the crap, there's still some crap. It's like I've recognized that the diamond is in there, but it's still got to dig through the stone. And that's what we do when we're excavating our beliefs, right? We have this belief system. We all are graced on this planet, or before or after, or whatever. The energy that we are is this brilliant diamond, this radiant, sparkly, bright, shiny light that we're bringing into this world. And then we start mucking it up. We start putting the coal and the stone on top of it. We start operating from belief systems that don't serve that radiant person that we are, that radiant light that we are. And we start seeing ourselves as more stone than diamond. And more importantly, we start operating out in the world as if we are more stone than diamond. And the work is to recognize that and then do something about that, right? And so what I knew how to do was go back to the basics. What I know is that the work of Troward and Emerson and Ernest Holmes all has the power, if I'm willing to read all those run-on sentences, to tell me who I am when I forget, and to remind me that I have a choice in how I choose to operate in the belief system that I operate from, because I am always the diamond. Do I want to know that I'm the diamond today? Do I want to believe that I'm the diamond today? More importantly, do I want to operate out in the world as the diamond? And if the answer is yes, then I have some work to do, right? And so what Eric so eloquently reminded me of, and the reason why I am standing on this stage today, the me a year ago would have just not shown up. The me a year ago would have said, I'm feeling vulnerable. I'm in the midst of excavating beliefs and feeling a little icky. And I have some great excuses. And so I'm going to bow out. I learned from my therapist over the last several months that I have an avoidant nature. If I'm uncomfortable, I will avoid it. Uncomfortable conversation, I'll avoid it. Eric and I call it pulling up a chair. I just want to hide behind a chair if there's anything uncomfortable going on. And so I don't want to be vulnerable in front of all of you. I will just avoid it. But the me today shows up. The me today walks through. The me today knows that I am the diamond experiencing some stuff, not some stuff on a quest to find the diamond, right? So the title of my talk today is Thor, Great Scott! I always think of that scene in Back to the Future with, yes, Christopher Lloyd. He's like, Great Scott! The diamonds are always there. But when we discover them, it's like, you could have had a V8 knock me over with a feather, right? Eric's like, you are already brilliant. And I'm like, oh, I'm already brilliant. I am already God. I am already this amazing light. And so then I went back to Thomas Troward and put my own periods in the book where I thought that they needed to be. I did that at one point. By the way, for any of you who have not read Thomas Troward, the man had a real aversion to punctuation. And so every sentence is like a page long of just run-on paragraphs. And so the woman that I used to be was a throw the baby out with the bathwater type. And so I was like, if you can't find a period, I have no time to read you. And then James was like, you're going to be tested on this. And I was like, well, I guess I need to fish that book back out. And so I, at one point, went in and put periods and punctuation where I thought they belonged. The me today can see past those periods and recognize it as the brilliant work that it is. But what Thomas Troward said that really stuck out to me today is that heaven's first law is order. And I don't know if I really got that the first 872 times James made me read that or answer that question on a test in order to get to the place that I'm at today. Heaven's first law is order. And what that means is the sun always rises and the sun always sets. The stars always come out at night. There is a harmony and an order to this universe that we are living in. The law of cause and effect works 100% of the time. It is not just willy-nilly. Sometimes it's going to work for you, and sometimes it's going to work for somebody else. There is actual order. When I go outside in nature, I see that harmony. I see that order. I see it. But somehow when I'm living in my life or I'm driving on the freeway, I think that I'm exempt from it. I think I'm exempt from this amazing tapestry of brilliance that is this universe. Our bodies are well-oiled machine. Our heart is pumping blood through our body right now without us having to think about it or do anything about it. It just does. Our lungs are breathing in the air that we need. By the way, it's the thing that the trees breathe out because they don't need it, but we do. And what we breathe out, the trees need, and they get what they need from us. There is an order, there is a circle of life, and there is law. And I forget that. I forget that I am in and of myself genius. I am made out of the same nature and the same harmony and the same order that is all things. But the thing is that I have this belief system, I have this coal, this stone that I have layered on top, that says my vulnerability is a weakness, that I'm not up to a challenge, that I'm not equal to it. I have beliefs that tell me that something outside of me is going to make me feel like the diamond that I am, rather than recognizing that I am the diamond and my job is to live that diamond in the world, not to let the world inform how many lumens my diamond has, right? And so the goal, and as it says so beautifully in the song, is to break through. Like the diamond in the mine or under the earth, is to break through and allow our radiance to shine and show in all of our affairs. And that means I get to show up to unloving situations as the love that I am. That means that I have to believe in the law of reciprocity and believe that as I give, so I receive. That means that when I'm feeling in fear financially, that I put extra money in the basket, not because it helps the center, but because it is me understanding and putting my literal money where my mouth is, that I am working with an irrefutable law, even when the coal that's mucking up my diamonds, or the stone, wants to tell me otherwise. And that's really where I'm standing today. I feel like I have my own chisel, and I'm my miner and my diamond, and I'm just chiseling away, because you know what? I want to live in a world where everybody's safe. I want to live in a world where everybody knows their value and everybody feels loved. I want to live in a world where everybody has enough, that there is no hunger, there is no poverty. And if I want to live in that world, then I have to start living as if I believe that that world exists. And that means that I don't get to live from a place of being in fear about my health or the health of other people. I have to know with certainty that we are all, I hate this phrase, but we are all whole and complete. I have to believe that I am lovable and express that love if I want to see a world that is loving. The truth is, sometimes I go out in the world and I am not my most loving self. And then I'm like, why is there atrocities in the world? Well, if each one of us is playing a little tiny part in not putting that love out into the world, what are those ripples sending out? Today we sent the ripples of love. What do we think that put out? And it really comes down to choice. Do I want to believe and put my faith in the diamond? Or do I want to believe and put my faith in the coal? Because I have evidence of both. This universe, this world gives us evidence of both. I always go back to the 9/11 analogy where, well, it's not an analogy, it actually happened, but this great atrocity happened, right? And everybody was understandably upset and fear and all of those things. But what we also saw was people flooding to love one another. We saw first responders going in bravely to help in any way that we could. Our blood banks were overflowing for the first time in my lifetime that I had ever seen. We were united as a country. There was a sense of love and connection in all of us. We were all Americans in the United States of America after that day. Both exist. That's the love. That's the love side. So do I want to put my focus and my emphasis on the love that, by the way, diamonds are made out of pressure. It's extreme pressure and heat. That's what often brings out our most radiant selves. So if the world looks a little mucky, do I want to be focused on all the coal and the stone? Or do I want to be focused on the diamonds that each person is and radiate love so that they can see the love in them and return it back to me? I am grateful for the opportunity to be a member of this center and to be a member of people who are willing to do the excavating, willing to do the digging, to be the diamonds that they are, the diamonds that each of you are. I am grateful to be somebody who can stand up here and say that I am willing and open to see the things in me that need to surface. And I am grateful to be somebody at this point in my life that can recognize the light that shines in each of you, and to be somebody that hopes that the greatest thing I can do in my life is to shine my light bright enough that each of you can see reflected back in you the light that you are. Namaste.